Ever looked at your bank account and thought, can my small savings actually make me rich? Well, today we're diving into an incredible, real-life story of how investing just a few thousand rupees a month turned a total investment of 9 lakhs into a whopping 48 lakhs. Yeah, you heard that right. And we're going to break down exactly how it happened.
All right, so let's get right into it. For most of us, right, the whole idea of building serious wealth, it can feel, well, pretty overwhelming. We've got our jobs, we try to save a little here and there, but turning that into a life-changing amount of money, man, that feels like trying to climb a giant mountain without any gear. So that really gets us to the big question, the one we're tackling today. How in the world can small, regular savings, the stuff you put aside every month, actually grow into a real fortune? It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? But the answer? Well, it's a lot simpler than you'd think.
And the key to all of this, the solution, it's this powerful but surprisingly simple tool. You can think of it as the tiny seed that this whole financial success story sprouted from, and it's called an SIP.
So what exactly is an SIP? It stands for Systematic Investment Plan, which sounds fancy, but it's really just a way to automatically invest a fixed amount of money, say every single month, into mutual funds. That's it. You're not trying to time the market. You don't need a huge chunk of cash to get started. All it takes is consistency. In this metaphor, this idea of planting a seed is honestly the best way to think about it. That first investment you make, that's you putting the seed in the ground. But the really crucial part is every single month, you're watering that seed with your contribution. You're not stressing about whether it's going to rain tomorrow or if it's the perfect day to water it. You just do it. Regularly, consistently. And believe me, that discipline is what makes all the difference. Okay, so you're planting the seed, you're watering it every month, but how does that little thing turn into a giant money tree? Well, it's not actual magic, but trust me, it's pretty darn close. It's all powered by these two unstoppable forces that work together over time. So on one side, you've got consistency. That's just the simple, boring, but powerful discipline of investing the same amount month after month. But on the other side, oh man, that's where the superstar of the show is, compounding. Let me put it this way. In your first year, your money earns a little something. Cool. But in the second year, you don't just earn returns on your original cash, you earn returns on last year's returns. It's like your money starts having babies, and then those babies grow up and start having their own babies. It's an exponential explosion.
Exactly why time is your absolute best friend in investing. Look, in the first couple of years, the growth might feel kind of slow. You're just building up that initial base. But once you cross that 5-year mark and start heading towards year 10, boom, the growth starts to accelerate like a rocket ship. That's compounding really hitting its stride.
And hey, if you think I'm just getting carried away here, don't just take my word for it. Albert Einstein, that Albert Einstein, supposedly called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. And he said, he who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. I mean, when Einstein says something is a fundamental law of the universe, you probably want to pay attention. Okay, the moment you've been waiting for. Let's get to the main event. We've talked about planting the seed, we've talked about the forces that make it grow. Now, it's time to see the incredible result of all that patience. It's harvest time. So, let's break down the actual numbers here. Over a 15-year period, the total amount invested was 9 lakh rupees. Now, it might sound like a lot, but it breaks down to just 5,000 rupees a month. I mean, it's a commitment for sure, but when you spread it out like that, it's something that's actually achievable for a lot of people. But here's the thing. That simple act of putting in that money month in and month out for 15 years, it allowed those two powerful forces we talked about, consistency and compounding, to just work their absolute magic. And the 9 lakh investment, thanks to an average annual return of around 15%, grew to a final value of, wait for it, 48 lakhs. 48 lakhs. That means on top of getting all your money back, you made a profit of 39 lakhs. I mean, come on. That is just an unbelievable result from a simple, steady plan. And this chart right here tells the whole story in one glance. You see that little bar on the left? That's the 9 lakhs of your own hard-earned money that you put in. Now look at that absolute skyscraper of a bar on the right. That's the final 48 lakhs. That massive, gaping chasm between the two, that is pure, unadulterated growth. That is the reward for your discipline and patience. Okay, so when you see something like this, the natural next question is, how can I do that? And the takeaway here isn't just about the numbers on a screen. It's about a whole mindset, a new way of thinking that you can use to start planting your own future starting today. So, let's quickly recap why this simple method is so darn effective. First, it forces discipline, right? It's all automated, so you're not tempted to skip a month. Second, it averages out your cost. You're buying more when prices are low and less when they're high, without even thinking about it. No more trying to time the market. Third, and this is the big one, it unleashes the unstoppable power of compounding. And finally, it makes creating wealth accessible to everyone. You don't need a fortune to start, you just need to start.
Brings us right back to the beginning. This entire incredible journey from 9 locks to 48 locks, it all started with one small, consistent decision. The decision to plant a single seed and just keep watering it. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. What seed are you going to plant today to grow the future you want tomorrow? You know how sometimes a single photo can just tell a whole story? Like you see it and you get the beginning, the middle, and the end, all in one shot? Well, it turns out a few words can do that exact same thing. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're taking just one short description and we're going to totally unpack it. We'll see how a whole emotionally charged story can be built literally from the ground up, just from a single image that these words create in our minds. So let's dive in and see how it's done. Okay, here it is. This is the entire text we're working with. It sounds pretty straightforward, right? Kind of like a simple prompt you'd give an artist. But trust me, packed inside these few phrases is a whole story. A story about ambition, about love, and about a dream finally coming true.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How can so few words paint such a complete picture? How do all these little phrases team up to create a scene that feels so real, so compelling?
All right, let's start breaking it down. You know, every great story needs its characters and it needs a dream. And what's amazing here is how quickly this description sets that all up for us. It's incredibly efficient. Boom! Right away, we have our main characters. A happy middle-class family. Now, why is that so powerful? Well, it's because that idea, that aspiration, is universal. Especially when you think about the context of modern India and its growing economy. See, it's not just a label, it's a whole backstory of working hard, of moving up, of finally finding stability. It makes them so relatable. You're immediately rooting for them. And then there's the setting. It really grounds the story, you know? It's not just an apartment building, it's a modern Indian apartment building. That one little detail adds so much. It gives it a specific culture, a specific time. It makes you think of this new, rising India and how the country's progress is perfectly mirrored in this one family's personal win. And that brings us to the dream itself, the big one, entering a new home. I mean, that's a huge milestone for anyone, anywhere in the world. It's all about safety, stability, a fresh start. It's such a basic human desire. And for this family right here, it's actually happening.
But here's the thing, this isn't just a moment in time. It's more like the climax of a movie. The description makes you feel like this is the absolute peak of a really, really long journey.
And this phrase right here, this is the engine driving the whole thing. It gives us the entire backstory without us ever needing to see a flashback. You can just feel the years of hard work, the saving, the planning, all of it. This was no lottery win. This was earned. It's the payoff at the end of a long, hard journey. It's pretty incredible when you think about it. This one single moment has an entire story arc packed inside. You've got the dream of getting the home. You've got the success that made it possible. And then you have the fulfillment, the moment they walk through the door. It's like a whole 3-act play, all happening in one beautiful instant. And right at the very heart of it all is this one simple action, the man handing the keys to his wife. Think about that. That's not just him giving her a piece of metal. It's a symbol of their partnership, right? It says, we did this together. It's about their shared future in this home. It's such a quiet but incredibly powerful moment. But okay, the text doesn't just list facts. It's way smarter than that. It tells us how we're supposed to feel about what's happening. And this, right here, is where it stops being just a description and becomes something, well, something truly cinematic. Just think about the difference for a second. You could just say, a family enters a home. Okay, factual. But our version adds cinematic slow motion and warm sunlight. Wow, suddenly it's not a statement, it's a scene. It's like a director telling you, hey, pay attention. This moment matters. Slow down and feel it. That slow motion part, it makes you stop and really notice everything, making the whole thing feel way more emotional. And the warm sunlight? I mean, that's not just about lighting, is it? It's like it's literally bathing them in hope and happiness. It's optimism you can see. So in the end,
Yeah, the details are specific, it's a modern Indian family, but the real power of this whole thing, it comes from how universal it all feels.
It's just one perfect moment, but it captures the whole journey. Yes, it's the story of this one family, but really, it's the story of every family, anywhere, that's ever worked their tails off for a dream and finally got to see it happen.
And why does it feel so universal? Because the text points us right to what's most important. It's not really about the concrete building or the metal keys. It's about this raw, human feeling that's at the core of any big achievement.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. If you had to boil down your own greatest success, your biggest win, whether it was financial, personal, whatever, into one single image, what would it be? What story would your perfect moment tell?